Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book review video. I have 6 books, and most of the books except for one, were just okay. They really weren't that great this time around. So I'm going to get started with the biography. Every book review video, I have a ton of biographies, and I'm trying to put one in every video, or if it's not a biography, it's probably going to be like some educational type of book or something like that. Probably like the most boring of all the books. And this is an autobiography, and an autobiography is where the person who the biography is about writes it. And this is by Agatha Christie. It's just called an autobiography, Agatha Christie. And this is what it looks like. And as you can see, it says with 16 pages of photographs. And they're like, maybe like a little less or a little more than halfway through the book. And I did not finish this book. I could not get through it. It was one of those books where like, as soon as you like get into it, it's like, oh, I think I read like 10 pages, and here I only read like 4 or something like that, because there are a lot of words on the pages, so it takes you a long time to get through. But it's like, as soon as you would get into it, that's when you're like, okay, I have to put this book down. I have to do something else, because it took a long time to get through. And there was like, how many, like 10, was there 10? No, 11 parts in it. They weren't chapters, they were parts. And I kind of liked it. I liked when she got into like how she started writing and stuff, like what was her first story around, stuff like that. Like, I really liked those parts in the book. And it didn't stop when she died. It stopped like in the 1970s. When she stopped writing it, it says in the beginning, in the preface, that's where she stopped writing. And I mean, it was okay. It was just hard to get through. I don't know if it's because I've just been reading so many biographies. I don't know, but it was just hard to get through, in my opinion. Like, it felt like it didn't like flow. You know what I mean? Like, when I read a biography, I like it to flow, or any type of book. And I feel like in some parts it got a little bit disjointed. And I think it was also because, like, it said in the beginning that in each part, she, like, skips. Like, she'll go from, like, when she was a kid, and then she'll go back to this, and then she'll go to different families. So maybe that's why it was hard to get through. But it wasn't that great. Like, it really, really, really wasn't that great. So this is a Harlequin book. It's a Western romance. And this is A Baby for the Sheriff. It's by Mary Leo. And this is what it looks like. And it's about this woman who's a veterinarian, and she comes into contact on her doorstep a baby. And she doesn't know anything about this baby. She doesn't know about taking care of babies. She can't have babies of her own. So she wants to take it to her number one worst enemy, the sheriff, because she usually keeps like animals inside of her house that she's not supposed to. And they get stranded during there's like a snowstorm, and they ended up taking care of the baby. And then finally he tells her that the baby might be his. It might be his ex-woman's baby or something like that. And she gets worried because she likes taking care of this baby, but now it's like, okay, if the baby's his, he could take it, and then the other girl could come back, and all this stuff. And it was a really good book. It was really, really, for Harlequin standards, it was really good. I liked it, and they're really short. They're like, this one, they all have close to like 216 pages, or a little bit over that, so they're not that long. Now this one is different. This one, I haven't read a regular Harlequin book in a really long time. I usually read ones with babies in it. And this is a special edition. It's Her Secret Texas Valentine by Helen Lacey. It's the Fortunes of Texas, the Lost Fortunes series. And this is what it looks like. And it's about this woman who Her parents are really, really like high up in society. Everybody knows them, everybody knows their business. And she works for their realty company with her other sisters. She has two other sisters. And it's about the series where like they all get married to like these Mendozas or something like that. And then she goes out on these dates, and finally she goes on this app where she finds this man who's a cowboy, and she doesn't want to get into it because she doesn't know if he likes her because she's, like this rich person, and he doesn't think he wants to be with her because he doesn't know if she just is falling in love for love, or if she's just falling in love um because she wants to, or something like that. Like they say it throughout the book, and I forget. Oh no, she's like she's falling for the idea of falling in love and not really falling in love, or something like that they say in the book. And so he has to do it, but then he's got a past. And it was really, really it wasn't a shocking past or anything like that. Except like there was this one part in it that was really shocking anyway. But other than that, it was a good book too. I haven't read one of those without a baby in it like for a long time. So it was a nice little like getaway from that. But I liked it. I thought it was a good book. I really liked it. So this is a mystery series, and I got this at a thrift store. And this is called Beeline to Trouble. It's by Hannah Reed. And in all of her books in this series, they all have like some kind of bee-related thing in them because a main character has bees. She raises bees. She has honeybees, all this stuff. And it's called A Queen Bee Mystery. And that's a series. And this is what it looks like. And it's about this woman. What's her name? Story. Like a storybook story. And she is, she has these problems, like with this man that she wants to be with and her mother. And she raises bees. And as she's showing these people stuff about bees, this woman ends up dead in this creek that runs like near her house. And and it's this woman that like nobody likes in the community, nobody cares for, or something like that, and she has to go on this hunt to figure out who did it. And then one main suspect she has tries to help her, and along the way she talks about like facts about bees, like what you should wear, like if you're going to do this thing with the bees, like get the honey, so like you don't want to wear any like kind of scent on you or a floral scent because they'll think you're a flower, how to dress and stuff like that. And I really liked it. I mean, if I found some more of these books, I think that they'd be good. I think that like they're kind of funny a little bit, but they're good. They're okay. So this next book is one that it was just okay to me. My mom reads this author a lot, and this is called Passion's Promise. It's by Danielle Steele. This is what it looks like. It's one of like her older books, like when she was first coming out. And it's about this like high society socialite woman who her parents died when she was a child, so she kind of got raised by this guy. I forget what they called him, like, and I don't know, I don't remember what they call him in the book. And then she goes out with like all these different guys. She goes to these parties, and here she meets this guy who just got out of prison. He was doing like a prison union type of thing, or a reform or something like that. And stuff ends up happening to him, and she has to decide, does she want to be the socialite woman, or does she want to stay with this one guy, and stuff like that. And it was just okay. Like, I feel like it really wasn't like that great. I just feel like it was like a really like classic romance storyline. Excuse me. And that could be because, I read these Harlequin books. Like, I don't know. So this is a book in the Outlander series. The Outlander series is about this woman who goes through these stones in Scotland, and she time travels back to like the 1600s, and she falls in love with this Highland man, and stuff like that, and it's a series on HBO or Stars or whatever. This is the 4th one in the series, and it's called The Drums of Autumn. It's by Diana Gabaldon. I think that's how you say her last name. I don't know. This is what it looks like. It's a really long book. All of these books are really long. They're usually like 900 pages or 1,000 pages or something like that. But the thing is like, it's not a book where you're like, oh, it's 1,000 pages. Like, it's a book where, like, if you really get into it, it's one of those books, like, if you really get into it, you read it, like, constantly. Like, it doesn't matter if there's 900 pages or not. If you just, like, I couldn't put this book down. Like, usually when I read a book that has a lot of pages in it, like, hundreds of pages, like, or a biography that's like that, I usually read it, like, 100 pages a day. And this book, like, you can't even put it down. So this is what happens. Is this last book, I forget what the 3rd book was called. I forget because I read it so long ago. But anyway, in the 3rd book, what happens at the end is their ship breaks down as they're going back to Scotland, and it breaks down into a storm, and they end up in the colonies, in the American colonies. And this book takes place where that leaves off. So Jamie is trying to get his nephew back to Scotland while they're dealing with trying to make it into the wilderness. They're in North Carolina, I think it's either North Carolina or South Carolina, I forget which one. And it goes back and forth between the 1700s, because now they're in their 1700s, to present day Scotland, where their daughter is, and her, like, on again, off again boyfriend. And it was a nice book. I really liked it. I mean, it was good, and some surprising stuff happens in it, and I just liked it. I don't want to give so much away. And what basically happens is they go and they make this little village of their own, kind of, in the wilderness. And they find these people that Jamie knew when he was back in the prison in Scotland. And I just liked it. It was a good book. Nothing really, like, I don't want to say really shocking happens to the main characters. I feel like it's kind of like a book that was like an in-between book, like a transitional book, where, like, the next book will probably have a lot of drama in it because they're getting close to the American Revolution and stuff like that. But it was a really good book. I really liked it. I don't feel like there was parts where stuff needed to be taken out. But like I said, it's like, if you don't like reading these big books, it's gonna take you forever to get through. But if you read it and you enjoy it, it's gonna, like, fly by, you know. So that was my books for this book review video. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.